Here's one for you then, people. Now, I know that I've covered the Great Pyramid, I don't know how many times, 4 or 5 times before. I have tried to reveal different areas of the site or only cover it when I've actually got something to say on it. Now, I've shown 1 or 2 images on the area that I'm going to show you, which is named the subterranean chamber, and they say that it's been cut into actual bedrock. Okay, now I've got it on the screen. In my opinion, I will try to prove that further, that this thing is, well, what they say is bedrock is just in fact compacted sand and silt from, well, you can imagine how much the Great Pyramid weighs and the Great Flood, and it's just compacted material. Okay, it's not bedrock. I've got a lot of old images. In fact, every single image here that I've got, I have never shown you before. Now, on the screen, the one on the left, if you look at the steps, this is the Grand Gallery, right? But you can see that the steps has actually been carved by archaeologists. They've carved some little steps, some little grooves, so they can walk up this thing, right? Now, the square holes on the right of the left image, the square holes, they say that this is how they were able to build the actual Great Pyramid, right? That they used the Grand Gallery was the main hub, the main artery of how they were able to drag actual cut blocks from a quarry. You know that I say that it's concrete, okay? It's some kind of man-made material that's made this thing, right? It almost looks to me like something slotted into this thing. The one on the right is how it looks today. So how they were able to conclude that the Grand Gallery was the main artery for being able to construct this thing is, you see the groove in the rock on the left image there, right? They say that that's from endless pulling of ropes. So they were pulling blocks up, and it ended up carving a groove into the rock on the left hand side. Unless that explanation also explains the one on the right, which is a hole, an entrance leading into the Queen's Chamber, what they call the Queen's Chamber, you can see that there's this exact same groove which is above the roof. Endless pulling of ropes doesn't explain that, does it? It makes no sense. Anyway, these are just some old images of how it doesn't look anymore. I can tell you, it's all been sanitized. This is the reason why I always try my best to find the oldest images. You'd be surprised just how many times people come to the channel saying that the stuff that I show here, you don't know if it's even real. It could have been manipulated. In fact, that is the reason why I've just shared and went to the actual sites and walked around and showed those videos, just to show you that this stuff actually does exist. Keeping in mind that I've been doing this before any kind of image manipulation was even going on. You know, the stuff that I share, most of the stuff is from Brian Forrester, right? So if I watch a video and then pause it at a certain position and then take a screenshot, then that's what it looks like in reality. But anyway, this is just adjacent to the area that I've just been showing you. Okay, so you can, there's actually 2 entrances to the supposed subterranean chamber there. This thing almost looks mechanical. I know it's, just look at the grooves and square holes, how things seem to slot into it. It almost looks like some type of lift, yeah, that's just an imprint, compacted material. Everything's just rusted away. Like the subterranean chamber is where some type of lift used to be, running down to God knows how far now. I'm pretty sure that in recent times they have excavated to depths unimaginable. Yes, have they reached the actual bottom of the Great Pyramid? More than likely, but we're not going to get to know about it. But just look how mechanical this thing looks. In fact, we are very lucky that they've not completely destroyed this thing. You see how the fence runs around it? That's the hole, all right? That has not been created just from them wanting to come and look for some treasure at some point in the past. That hole was there. That mechanical looking thing, whatever it is, was there. It's not been carved in recent history to try and do your head in, all right? So I will play a video shortly, which is to do with all this inside the Great Pyramid, because that's what the video's about. Actually, there is just one more thing that I want to state now, because I'm sick of hearing people say this on videos and in comments. Just because we see these cut marks that's on the side walls of things and on the sides of blocks and things does not mean that's where they've been carving these things away, you know. Most of that stuff is just from erosion, right? Or where, well, I'd say mostly from where archaeologists uh, and tour guide people have just been clearing the walls because this thing eventually erodes away, or it gets a buildup of moss and things like that, so they just scrape it away as well as just destroy the thing. I do want to point out a couple of things on the Sphinx though. This, I don't know when this was, but if you look at this thing today, right, you will not recognize some of the older images that I show you on this channel, all right? So it doesn't even look anything like this anymore. But I just want to show you this. Just look at the nose area. You can see how it almost looks like in two halves. Now, I am the only person that pointed out, well, the narrative is that this thing has been carved out of the actual bedrock again, right? Now, but this image proves 101,000% that this thing has been built in the same way to what we would build something today with girders and concrete. Absolutely no doubt about it. And I've drawn the lines in for it if anyone's new to the channel, because that proves it without any doubt. And I will go ahead and play this video for you.